Alright guys, I'm doing my next React video. This one's a little more sensitive about female loneliness. So if you guys aren't interested in that or you don't want to see it, now is the time to click and leave. I'm just gonna forewarn you now. So if you keep watching, it's all on you at this point. So let's dive into it, shall we?
Y'all, when women get rejected, oh, it's deep. I don't know what it is, but we do not handle it well.
I have a theory about this. My theory is this for women, right? I think women don't handle rejection very well, and I'm talking for majority of women, right? Because I think the majority of women, like this woman right here, she's pretty cute, right? She's pretty
Actually, I do.
attractive. A little too much makeup for me, but like in general, she's fairly attractive, right? And most of the time, in most situations, women don't need to flirt. They don't need to have any type of game. They don't need to do any of that. So they've never faced that or experienced that or have dealt with that. Because let's be real, what does society teach women? Be chaste, look pretty, you're the prize, you deserve everything. So women never initiate conversations. They always have men chase them. They always get the drink spot and paid for. And that's their reality, right? So now that they are having now the script is flipped where they now have to do the chasing. They now have to initiate the conversations. They now have to deal with the rejection. It's a lot more brutal for women because they've never had to deal with it. Men, it's not as big of a deal for us because we dealt with it daily. I mean, when I was dating, I got rejected all the time, and it sucks. It hurts. It's painful. But you know what? You dust yourself off and you try again. Women haven't had to do that. I don't think they're stupid or anything like that. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I just don't think women are. They have to go through the process. You know what I mean? They have to experience the rejection. They have, and it's kind of like a wake up call for some of these women because they're like, oh whoa, what? You rejected me. No, 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 no. I always get what I want because they always have gotten what they want. They've always gotten the men coming after them. They've always, I think it's a logical response what these women are doing. Just saying. But let's keep going.
I know what it
That's
is,
my
and I'm gonna
theory.
tell you in this video. Women desire to be desired. Okay, that is
Yeah,
something you're
women
gonna
like
see in
attention. We
every
know
woman.
that.
She wants to be desired. Some
Mm-hmm.
people allow their desire to run them. Some
Mm-hmm.
people
For
can
sure.
harness their desire, but
Mm-hmm.
all women deep down want to be desired. And so when
Mm-hmm.
she's not desired or does not feel desirable, she takes that internally. I mean, it makes her sad. It can cause depression. It can cause
Mm-hmm.
anxiety. It can cause you to feel like you're not good enough. It can cause hopelessness. I mean, it gets very deep. Because of that, I think a lot of women don't put themselves out there. I think it boils down.
I think that's just human nature. I don't think it's just women. I think men want to be desired too. But I'm gonna speak for me. I learned the hard way when I was in the dating that if you're not don't have six pack, you don't have, you know, the a perfect looking sculpted body. Most women want nothing to do with you, and if you don't look a certain way, you know, you're just kind of cast to the wayside. You know, let's keep going.
It's one simple thing that as women we have to accept that looks matter, and we can fight it, we can argue it, but looks matter. And when a man's not attracted to us, it hits
I think that's what society has groomed women to believe. I don't think that's all it is.
deep.
I think women have been groomed by society. I mean, when you grow up, think about it. Really, let's really think about it here. You from a young age are put in front of a TV that is said, "Oh, you're a girl. You must like dolls. Oh, you must like dresses. Oh, you need to look pretty or else no one's gonna like you. Oh, you need to go shopping. You need to consume. You need do this. You put somebody in that environment for 18 plus years, this is the
Most men are
result.
rejecting you because they're not attracted to you.
Serious question for my mans out there. Why are you guys not approaching women?
Like this woman right
What
here.
is that about?
She looks okay, like, you know. But even if she didn't look like the most attractive woman, I think there needs to be at least base level attractiveness. So you need to look at someone and go, okay, she's cute.
What is
But that's not it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but let's keep going.
that about? I have seen so many hot guys lately, and we make eyes, we exchange the look, we have the look, and then there's nothing else. I'm like, are you gonna come approach me?
Proving my point. Women have gotten so used to men approaching them that they don't know how to do the approaching, and it's affecting them.
Hello, I don't want to be the one to approach you, okay?
I know,
Because that's
we
not
know
my man's.
that.
My man's has, you know, the balls
This is what women want. They want men to approach them.
that he has.
But there's also bad actors out there, right? I've also seen stories of men who do approach women and then women file sexual harassment charges against them. So most men are going to go, yeah, no, this girl's not worth my livelihood. Bye. And it stacks. And this is the result of those allegations. Is now we have men that don't put themselves out there. They go, you know, it's not worth my livelihood. It's not worth my reputation for a pretty girl.
And he's not afraid to come up to me and say something, say hello. So if you're a man,
Doesn't mean every woman is like that, no. But you know what? You know the saying: it takes one bad apple to spoil the bunch. It takes one bad actor to ruin it for everyone else. So now even the good women are being affected by this.
out there, you know, you guys have balls for a reason. Use them. And don't be afraid to approach women.
That's
because
nice.
we don't want to do
Tell
that.
men
know?
they have no balls
This
if
is
you don't
just a
get what
pro
you
tip,
want.
okay?
Great.
Chime in.
The loneliness epidemic is real. I went to 2 bars, not just one, 2 bars, and I got rejected by not one, but 2.
See, this woman to me is just, for me personally, I don't think she's the most beautiful woman in the world. I'd say she's like a 5, maybe a 4. But I think she's attractive enough. I'd talk to her. I get to know her. But she's got a rotten personality. I wouldn't want to be anywhere around her. You know, men care more about personality than they do attractiveness, I think. You know, of course men want their women to be attractive, right? But I don't think that's all they think about. I don't think they're just like, she needs to be a supermodel. She needs to have a big butt and big boobs and all this crap. I don't think men really care about that. I think they're like, oh yeah, she's pretty cute. Oh, is she pleasant to be around? You know, let me move myself. Ah! Okay, well we'll put this, the chat and this here there. This poor man reacts. I'll leave a link, but yeah, let's keep watching.
2 guys.
2 guys, those are rookie numbers. You got to pump that up. An average
Yeah.
guy's going to get rejected at least 20 times before he gets even a
Exactly. I've been rejected a lot.
date. A
About-
woman goes
about
out and
20.
get rejected twice in the same night, and now all of
No.
a sudden we're in a loneliness epidemic.
About that,
I don't
too.
think we in a loneliness epidemic. I think you in a loneliness epidemic.
Yeah.
Now, I usually don't go out like this, but I was feeling like I was starving for affection,
Uh-huh.
and I just wanted somebody to make me feel pretty. Like my
There's your answer. She just told on herself right there. I normally don't do this, but I wanted to feel pretty. So I went out. So she just admitted, I don't really want to get a guy. I just wanted to feel pretty and validated. That's why she did it. She just told on herself.
my mother once told me, sometimes
Not that it's a bad thing, you know. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting validation and stuff and wanting to feel beautiful, but this is a deeper issue in me. If you don't believe you're valuable or you're attractive, I don't think any amount of worldly validation is going to convince you otherwise. You know, I personally had to learn this from a young age that, like, not everyone's gonna find me attractive, and that's fine. I don't personally care if you find me attractive or not. If you do, I'm flattered. Thanks. I think that's great. But if you don't, whatever. You're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. You know? But that doesn't mean you don't have value.
you go out not because you want to have fun, but you want just one person to make you feel special. And I did that tonight. And maybe, just maybe it was out of desperation. Not that I don't have a lot to live for, I have plenty. But I went out hoping to just feel a raw connection with somebody. And I got rejected by 2 people.
Well, this
I don't think she was out to find a connection. I think she was out to get validation. I think she's lying to herself. I think she was thinking, I feel ugly, and I don't want to feel this way right now. I want someone to tell me I'm pretty. I'm gonna go to a bar and I'm gonna go to some guy and he's gonna tell me I'm pretty. I'm gonna feel better about myself. And it didn't work. And now she's just feeling worse. But let's see what Poor Man says.
is the landscape that feminism has been putting into place for the past 70 years. And women are the ones that cheered it on, by the way. Women have been saying for the past 70 years they don't want men to approach them. And what women have to understand is that
That's
a
true.
man approaching you in and of itself is a non-consensual act. To approach a woman, you have to walk across the bar, spark up a conversation with a random stranger, usually without their consent, and that's an important factor in this.
Yep.
And sometimes you might be a little bit invasive of their space, especially if the bar is noisy. And because women have been saying they don't want men to approach, and most men respect a woman's consent, less men are approaching. So now you got to be the one to do the approaching. And look, if you don't believe me, read this. A significant portion of men, especially younger ones, report not approaching women, with studies showing that 45%
Pulled out the statistics. Well, I mean, I can't argue with that.
of men aged 18 to 25.
So that's almost half of men. So you just killed half your dating pool. If you want, let's just say you're not even wanting to date. You're just wanting that you're pretty. You've just significantly diminished your chances. So that means 50-50. You might get someone saying you're pretty. You might not. Guess it was just one of those times where you didn't get what you wanted. Oh well.
That's the age where you're starting to get to know people. That's where you're starting to get to know the person you might potentially build a family with. 45% of men aged 18 to 25 have never approached a woman in person. For men aged 18 to 30, 55% have not approached a woman in the last year. For men aged 18 to 30, 55% have not approached a woman in the last year. And among single men, fear of rejection or appearing creepy are significant factors. Over 80% of men are afraid to approach women primarily due to fear of rejection, public embarrassment, or social consequences. So yeah, women being rude to men that gather the courage to walk across the bar and spark up a conversation with a stranger. And if they're not rude, they let their fat friend do the talking for them, the one that's never gotten any attention. So they're jealous of the friend that's getting the attention. So they reject the guys on the woman's behalf. But it's okay though. Women have been empowered to get the career that they want. You got to go to college. You got to do the resume, do the interview, then finally get the job. If you're willing to do all that just to go into the workforce, if you want a man, you'll be willing to approach them. And if you're not willing to approach, then things just might get hard for you. But that's the landscape that women cheered on and feminism built.
And I felt so terrible that I ended up walking home alone to sober myself up. Because this was not the night that I planned out for myself. The loneliness epidemic is so real. And it's such a raw experience for me. And for a lot of people. Now, it is not that I don't have... I feel like I am a pretty girl.
No, you don't. If you felt you were pretty, you wouldn't have to go out and get validation that you are pretty. I don't believe you. Because your actions are not reflecting how you feel. That's just me, though. That's just me.
But it is not that
If you feel pretty, you don't need people to tell you you're pretty. You know you're pretty.
I'm looking necessarily in the wrong places. But it is the wrong time, and unfortunately, I have knocked on every door that I possibly could have. And every door has come to me to no avail. Also, be careful walking alone at night because I just had somebody trail me. It's sad what we do when we're starving for affection. The last person that I was spending time with told me that they liked me, but I wanted so badly to be a girlfriend that it turned him away.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't.
That is a little creepy. If you've just barely met someone and you're already wanting to jump into a relationship, I don't blame the dude for leaving. That's a little weird. You know. that's kind of like the equivalent of a dude just flirting heavily with you and getting in your personal space, which a lot of women have said, no, we're not interested in, we don't want to do that. Don't do that. So we don't do it. Well, single men don't do it. I'm not single. You know, I've been out of the game for a while, so. But, you know, men are pretty simple creatures. If you say no, we won't do it. If you say sure, we'll do it. So I'm kind of in the middle of a poor man. I agree, but at the same time, it's like, you know, how do you weed out the good ones from the bad ones? You just really can't. Unfortunately, it sucks.
Like you, or there's some red flags that he's trying to work through, whether it be you have an absorbent amount of student loan debt and he's thinking of that as a red flag when getting into a relationship or a marriage, or as you have a promiscuous past, so he's not taking you seriously. I am definitely in the camp that if you're a woman and you don't have blatant red flags, usually men know if they like you or not. But he will sleep with you, though, so if you keep sticking around, you're going to get slept with, but he probably will never, ever be in a relationship with you.
I just wanted a connection. I just wanted someone to hold me and make me feel like the world wasn't ending. And I spent all of my time trying to make this person feel special so that they wouldn't leave me, just for them to say that I was trying too hard and for them to move on.
Yeah, he definitely didn't like her. No man who likes a woman is going to tell her that she's trying too hard for trying to cater to him.
Just for them to say that I was trying too hard and for them to move on. It's absolutely crazy.
I mean, every guy's different. I mean, me personally, I don't really like it when my wife is always trying to cater towards me and do everything for me and buy me gifts and stuff. I don't really, that's just not me. But some guys are into that, you know, it just depends on who you're around. I like my me time. I like doing my own thing, and then I go spend time with my wife. And she knows that, you know. And I like the little things. If you really want to spoil me, go get me a Monster. Go get me something cheap. I am not a very high maintenance person. I like to believe most men aren't really that high maintenance. We don't need, like, fancy cars. We don't need designer clothes. We don't need, you know, it's like if you just feed us a burrito or breakfast and give us a soda and some video games to play, we're happy. Like, we're not complex. We're very, very simple. And if you do that, we're good. We're happy. And we appreciate you. And maybe we could work a little better on saying that, because I know I don't say that a lot, and that's something I need to work on. But that's me. But anyway, let's keep going.
So now I'm just listening to my music, going on like a 3-mile walk. This I would not advise to you. I was in a funky headspace, so I'm doing it. But be careful out there, ladies. Be careful.
And this is how you could tell there's a female loneliness epidemic. The male loneliness epidemic, a bunch of feminists came up with that talking point, and they say that as a way to try to gaslight men into building relationships and blah, blah, blah. But being alone and being lonely are two different things.
Yeah.
You can see that a lot of women, especially that are building parasocial relationships on TikTok, because that's exactly what this is. She has nobody that she can go and call. Probably not that many friends that she's intimately close with where she can have this conversation with them on her 3-mile walk home. So she's recording a TikTok to build parasocial relationships, basically screaming into the void to get validation from people that don't actually care about her. And this is a symptom, in my opinion, of the female loneliness epidemic, and you're seeing more and more of this. These are conversations that you used to have with an intimate friend, a girlfriend, and you would have these conversations, but now you're seeing more women resort to TikTok and telling their stories on TikTok because they don't really have genuine relationships. But this woman's in the right direction. She's walking. She has to lose 25 pounds.
I was having a conversation about this with my wife, and she brought up the point that, you know, women are very aware that other women are very manipulative and will use their words against them. So it very well could be that they're just aware and they don't trust people and they're not trusting of other women, or they just don't want to deal with the drama that other women have put into their lives in the past, right? So they just avoid that and they go to other means. I don't think it necessarily means, I'm sure that is part of the reason, but I think another causality, I guess you could say, would be that women just don't trust other women in general for the most part, you know. And that's telling in and of itself, that most women are very skeptical of other women's intentions. Like, they may not have good intentions, right? Which is, to me, is interesting. And like, I have a lot of friends, right? Well, I don't have a lot of friends. I've got like maybe 5 close friends. I'm like naming off the top of my head. So I got Chris, and these aren't their real names. I'm not naming their real names. Chris, David, Charlie. I think I only have like maybe 4 close friends. Yeah. There's David, Charlie, and Sam. I'm not naming their real names, but I have like 4 close friends, and we get in disagreements, right? But we call each other out when we feel like something is not cool, or hey, I don't feel like you did, like, you shouldn't have done this, that wasn't cool. We hold each other accountable, but it's not a shaming thing. It's just like, yo, you should, if you're gonna come do this, you need to help contribute financially, or you need to make an effort to do that, stuff like that. That's what we do. We're not backstabbing each other, and I don't know if, I'm not a woman, I don't know, but that's a thing that I've heard from my wife, and I'm obviously gonna believe her, so I think that's another factor, is that just women don't necessarily like each other. Like, just saying.
And things will go better for her, for sure. As a woman, as long as you stay in decent shape, you don't even got to be crazy in shape. In decent shape, there's always going to be some guy. Men are starting to become indifferent to relationships, and that's going to be the worst thing for women, because it's not even an anger. It's a not caring. I'm going to tell you now, men are used to being alone, and men are used to living with the bare minimum. So this transition isn't going to be hard for most men. But for women who tend to depend on relationships, who tend to be the beneficiaries of relationships oftentimes, usually they're not the ones that are paying for the relationship, is essentially what I'm saying. It's going to be significantly harder to realize that for the next 60 years of your life, you may be alone and working a job, because that's what women said they wanted. When you look at the fact that more women are becoming alcoholics than ever, when you look at the fact that women are building weird parasocial relationships with other women online just to feel, when you look at the anti-anxiety and the anti-depression medicine use.
Not sure what he's meaning by parasocial. I'll have to look into that. Let's see. I've never even heard of that. What is a parasocial relationship? What is a parasocial relationship? Spurs is one-sided, non-reciprocal, which feels emotional bond with the public fiercely. Oh, I see. Okay. So, essentially, like, where they, like, fall in love with someone that doesn't even know who they are. That's crazy.
It's quite clear
That's
that women
sad,
are definitely going through something. And really, it's
Yeah.
just women are going against their biology. They've been told that they're going to find more fulfillment in life through folding pants at the Banana Republic or being a branch manager for Burger King than they will through family. And I mean, this is going to be the result of that. Women are very social beings. Either way, let me know in the comments below if this video was a W or L, and give me the HBO special.
I mean, I don't really agree that, like, people are defined by their genitalia and their biology. I just think women, I do somewhat agree. I think more women find satisfaction in building families, but I don't think that's a blanket answer for every woman. I think a lot of women are feeling lost right now because, yes, they may not be feeling that fulfillment in work, and that may not be for them, and they don't know where to turn. So they turn to unhealthy means. But, the same can be said about men, but that's not what this conversation's about. It's like, I feel for these women, and it's like we don't want these women to be suffering, but it's like, the example of this one woman, I don't believe her because, and it's not like, I'm not saying, oh, I don't believe you, that you're this and this. It's like the actions state otherwise, because if you believe you're pretty I don't really think you need to go and get outside validation if you truly believe you are a worthwhile and attractive person. I don't need outside validation. I don't need people to tell me I'm attractive. If you think I'm attractive, great. I think that's a flattering compliment, and I'll take it as that. But if you don't, I'm not letting it bother me. I think women are very much groomed by societal standards to think, feel, look a specific way, and that's really hard to get out of your system, especially when you have been groomed. Like, I mean, let's really dive into this. I mean, how many, I don't even know if there's even any women that watch this, but if there are any women watching this, when you grew up, how many ads did you see that were targeted to you, that you felt were targeted to you, that told you to dress a certain way, to look a certain way? You needed to be thin. You needed to be submissive, right? Like, you need to listen to your man, and I don't agree with that. Like, I think a good man wants a woman that will listen to him and respect his opinions. And if she disagrees, she will do it respectfully. She will not come at him in a how do I put it? In a confrontational, aggressive, angry manner. She can make her points without being combative, you know. But it also, you know, at the flip side, we men need to learn that too. We men need to learn that we don't always need to solve our problems through violent means. And violence can come across as many different things. It's not just physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual. But I think a lot of women need to go on a personal growth journey and really have that inner reflection, because I had to do it when I was young. When I was like 26, I had to have this inner reflection of, who do I want to be? Do I want to get married? And if I do, right, if I do want to be married and I do want to have a partner, what do I want in my partner? What do I believe is realistic and obtainable? What do I believe that is not hypocritical or a double standard? And my standard was, I want to be able to cook for my wife. I want to be able to be patient for her. I want to be able to be understanding. But I also want to be able for her to be able to take what I believe she needs to work on and not take it personally. Hey, honey, I don't think you need to be a supermodel, but I do think you need to take care of yourself. I do think you need to eat healthy. You need to have a salad instead of a burger. Hey, honey, I don't even have conversations with my wife about her dress. She doesn't do that, you know. She isn't dressed immodestly, you know. And I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about her sending the wrong message. And it's not me being insecure. A lot of women go, oh, you're insecure. It's like, no, it's about the message you send and how you present yourself. When you're dressing immodestly, you are presenting yourself. You are giving a message to the world. And that is something that affects not just your man, but you as well. It tells a lot about yourself, you know. But that's just what I think. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know. This one's a shorter video, thank goodness. Drop it in the comments and let me know what you guys think about this. And what can we do to help women not feel less lonely? You know, because if this is a thing and women are suffering, we need to have a discussion about it, and we need to talk about it for sure. Because I don't hate women. I love women. I think women are great. I think men need women and women need men. But I also don't think the current societal standard is healthy for either. I think both genders need to kind of decide what they want to do in life. I've met men who are homemakers and they're happy doing it. And I've also met women who are breadwinners and are happy doing it. I do think you do need to have a good structure and a good stability. I do agree with that, but I don't think men need to do this specific role and women need to do this specific role. Now, do I think men are more suited for specific roles than women are? Yes, I do. But I do think that we can still have women in those roles, but they can have a different role, like a supporting role. That's just me, though. That's my opinion. You know, if you disagree, disagree, but let's again keep it civil. Let me know in the comments. Peace.